The same. Somewhere in that maelstrom is Alyssa Lang. Alyssa Lang will become the only one seemingly to stop Diego Pavia today.
Of course, the Vandy upset as we get to our G2G protein bars, game changers from the weekend. Of course, G2G protein bars available now at Costco in the refrigerated section. They're outstanding. You check them out online at g2gbar.com. The peanut butter banana chocolate is to die for. Let me just tell you, they are just outstanding. But check it out for yourself. G2G protein bars now available at Costco. All right, I am going with mine is the massive upset over Alabama. Upset of the decade. Held on to the ball for 42 minutes. 40 points is the most they've scored against Crimson Tide since 1906. This is the stat that I think is just overwhelming. They scored as many points in the first quarter, which was 13, as they did the entire time Nick Saban was the head coach.
That's incredible. That's an incredible stat. It really is.
And that field goal post from First Bank Stadium was going down Broadway, ended up in the Cumberland River. Now it can be an auction off that you mentioned for.
They got to pay the fine.
So, but some other by the numbers. First win over a top-ranked program ever. First time they scored more than 40 points in a game against a top-5 opponent. Alabama became the fourth number one team in AP poll era to lose a game to an unranked opponent the next week. Across 4 games, as I mentioned, that Nick Saban was the head coach, 13 points. Of course, they did in the first quarter, as I mentioned. Alabama had won 23 consecutive games, which is just huge if you think about that. And Vanderbilt entered Saturday's game with an 0-60 mark against AP top 5 teams.
What was that number again?
0-60.
60?
Yes. That goes back to when this poll started in 1936.
That's incredible. That stat is incredible.
So the entire Vandy team is my G2G game changer.
I'm with you on that. Jax, Manuch isn't here. Why don't you take Manuch's shot here?
Yeah, Manuch had Sam Leavitt, quarterback from ASU, who led ASU to 35-31 win over Kansas. 4 touchdown passes, 77 rushing yards, and converted on offense 6 for 10 on third down. I think this is a good pick for Manuch. Sam Leavitt starting to establish himself in this offense. He looks more comfortable week in and week out, and you're starting to see Arizona State win games we have not been used to them seeing. And I thought Rudy Carpenter made a good point. This is a really good Kansas team. It's just they've been dealing with turnovers from Jalen Daniels, who had his best game of the season, but a good win for Arizona State ahead of Friday night's game.
Okay, and I'm going to go with Ken Kendrick, the owner, managing general partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks, for saying last week what fans had been saying all season. And he came out and pretty much trashed pitcher Jordan Montgomery, a $25 million contract that he got. He said it was one of the worst signings that he has ever done. And I applaud him for his honesty, for his candor, and also for being upset because he is the owner. And he's upset because the D-backs failed to get into the baseball tournament at the end of the year. Last year, they snuck in the back door, got all the way then to the World Series. This year, they tried to do the same thing, only the door was shut. And it is Ken Kendrick who gets my G2G protein bar, the owner of the D-backs.
You know, there were some people that criticized him for doing that. I applauded it.
I applaud him.
I like the fact that he came out and said, hey, this is on me.
Yeah.
You know, I pitched it. They bought it. I went with it. It was a mistake.
Yes.
Take the blame. I love it.
You can't ask for anything more from a owner than what he came out and said. I'm the guy who signs the checks. I made the mistake. It's on me. And he was overweight, out of shape. And I think, to be honest with you, I think he was just there for the paycheck. He showed flashes every once in a while, what we thought we were going to get when he was with the Texas Rangers, but we only got it once in a while.
So staying with baseball,
okay,
these playoffs have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I what happened in LA is uncalled for. That should not have happened. That's something you usually hear in New York or Philly. You really don't hear that. Throwing stuff on the field. It's just stupid.
They threw a baseball out of the stands at Profar in the outfield. Just missed it.
I mean, Dodger fans, because we see them all the time being Arizona fans, they've already had a pretty much messed up image, but this took it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
This took it on a national stage. This is a really bad look for them that's going to further stain their reputation. And I don't know how you change it. You kick those people. I mean, I'm sure they caught the person who threw the ball, but how do you do that? I mean, it's unfortunate though on a national stage. You have a few bad actors, right?
Yep, that is correct.
Bad actors.
Yep.
That's the largest crowd they've had of the season, and here they are doing what they did. A bunch of punks that did what they did, and I don't know what you can do. You can only have so much security, right?
Well, yeah, you can't.
You stop the game?
You can't. Well, they did stop the game.
I know. I was saying you had to stop the game.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Profar had to come in from left field, and he was pretty hot.
Oh, he was animated.
Yeah,
he?
And quite frankly, I don't blame him one bit. He could have gotten beamed, and it would have been awful. But fortunately, that did not take place. But I'm with you, Rock. I don't know how you can. You just can't police every row. You're going to put a cop hit on every. You can't do that. It's impossible to do. And I think one thing that was good, I think there were some fans that identified the guy in left field who threw that pitch, and I think they came and got him. But still, the damage had already been done. And you're right. It's an ugly, ugly look for sports.
When you look at baseball in general, this is probably one of the best postseasons in quite some time in Major League Baseball. The ratings were really down last year.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. Arizona, Texas Rangers, that's not a big draw.
No.
But for the first time, you have one of the superstars playing in Ohtani.
Yes.
And I think that, with the record low viewership last year in the World Series, that will change, especially if it's Dodgers,
Yankees.
New York.
Yes.
If it's Yankees and Dodgers, that would be outstanding. But I do think when it comes to October, we're going to see postseason numbers bigger than they ever have been.
I hope you're right about that, because these games have really been entertaining. And
that Philly-New York game, I know if you don't have you're not a fan of either team, it went back and forth.
It
was a rocky battle.
It was a rock fight.
A rock fight, right? And then, we're watching the game right now with Detroit and Cleveland. Cleveland got on them early the first game. Well, right now it's a pitcher's duel. They're in the sixth inning, no score.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a good game to watch.
Nice day in Cleveland.
Duels.
Short-sleeve shirts.
I love
Sun's
that
out.
stadium.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's a great stadium.
I just think it's great that, you have the number one player in baseball playing, especially coming off a 50 home run, 50 stolen base season.
Yes.
And he made his debut on Saturday. It's just some good storylines, really good storylines. And it's Aaron Judge, it's Bryce Harper, it's Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout if he was playing. Those are the three guys. They're the most popular player shirts or jerseys, right?
Yep.
And the fact that it's just a great stage for the game, and it's great for the fans.
The thing that bothers me so much about Major League Baseball is, and I know it's a different kind of sport, you can go to a game and Shohei Ohtani might be 0 for 4. And you're going, God, I thought this guy was going to, baseball is so different than basketball or football. It's a game where you can be a star and then go for a stretch where you're just dog meat. You're just terrible. And that's what plays into it. I would love to see Major League Baseball promote stars like what the NFL does, like